It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. We're in the Mothership, Studio 22. That's right. We got all kind of things in store for you. Not the least of which is I'm going to tell you what a shit show Austin, Texas is. Can't wait to tell you about the events of yesterday. I'm going to be one of those most transparent people when it comes to politics and just expose it all. Just lower the boom on all of it. Sitting at the helm of the mothership. This cast of characters over here. Chance the Soulless Ginger Rapper, Kayla Swift, and Justin Case. Oh, look at that. That's Justin Washington over there. Actually, you kind of look like Prince if he'd have gotten old. Look at that thing, man. Oh, Kayla, I'm sorry you got to sit between the nonsense over there. Good job, guys. You remember Mark and Candace? I don't even remember those. I don't even remember those guys anymore. They've been out. I guess
forever.
Little flu break or something. I don't know what's going on. These kids might be taking an early honeymoon. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
They've gone radio silent for us. Sitting over at the pub, Hot News Natalie, Party Foul Steve, Lisa Page, Made Me Do It, and Jennings. Oh yeah. Well, we're going to get into it today. I can't wait to just
Everyone except Steve is staying hydrated.
I'm going to educate some people.
I feel like you came in with a different aura around you today.
Well, I'm tired.
Okay.
He just walked in and didn't say anything.
I walked through the swamp yesterday. I was in Austin all day yesterday. Interesting stuff, man. I can't wait to tell you guys some stories, some little behind the scenes things. You just wouldn't believe. I mean, it's just stuff that's just...
Or would we?
I mean, you know it's there, but when you're there firsthand, you're seeing it and some of the things that are going on, it's so disgusting. And you think you know what I'm going to tell you, but you don't. I'm going to surprise some people today with what I'm going to tell you because your enemy is not who you think it is. I'm just going to say that. All right? There's some rough folks out there, but they're not who you think they are. Sarah Gonzalez, the host of the News Why It Matters, and Sarah Gonzalez Unfiltered. You look good in that chair.
Thank you.
Look at you all shiny on tax day.
Yes, taxation is theft. Just in case anyone forgot.
You know, I keep telling people this thing about property tax in Texas. I keep saying it needs to go away or it needs to be lowered.
Yes.
And people keep going, well, you can't abolish it because this and this and this and this and this. And I'm like, well, you can because it's immoral.
Who's telling you that?
A lot of people. Well, how are you going to replace that tax money? We're going to combine some of your school gymnasiums that look like a coliseum on a college campus. We're going to let you go to the public gym and use those, or we're going to let the public use your gym rather than having to build another gym across town in the Slake. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to call them multi-purpose facilities so you spoiled ass citizens of Texas can stop spending billions of dollars to build Division II college campuses that are actually high schools that have cafeterias of Burger King and Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut inside of them. We're going to stop doing all of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that people are actually saying that to you. I would have to imagine that maybe they're renters because all of the property owners that I know are like, you never truly own your property here in Texas, and it's really, really annoying.
Universally, across the board, everybody says it needs to be reduced. But what I've been doing is tasking economists with this question.
Yeah.
How would you abolish property taxes? Every one of them goes, oh, well, you can't. And I'm like, that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying if you had to or die, how would you do it? And it's funny how all of them come back with a plan. They all managed to come back with a plan.
I guess you can do it.
So I've got a big meeting. I've been meeting with several economists, various real estate people. People who are actively involved in the appeals process every year. Some folks, they help homeowners appeal like $25,000 a year. That they're appealing that many cases against these property tax levies that are out there.
Love that.
Everything's screwed up. The appraisal situation is not standardized. I'm meeting with several folks this next Tuesday for a long lunch. It's going to be one of those whiteboard things. See, I'm mediocre in most things that I do. Mediocre.
Are you?
But let me tell you where I'm good. I know how to take some complex issues and break them down and communicate them in a very simple, even stupid way that makes people understand it. And I can sometimes mix it with a little bit of humor. Now, y'all going to have to pray for me because once these guys start whiteboarding all this stuff, I ain't gonna have a damn clue because this is a multi-layered problem here in Texas. It's a bad deal.
Yeah.
But these are the kind of issues that we're facing right here. People keep saying, well, what would you do about the southern border? That's a complex issue that has it's going to be going to take a very complex solution.
Which I hope that people appreciate, that you're willing to say, you know what, that's a complex issue and we need to look into it.
Yeah.
You're not just going to stand there and
build that wall.
Right.
See,
Parrot a bunch of things
I'll put stuff out there and people go, build that wall. We should build the wall. We should finish the wall. I agree with that 100%, but that's not the only solution.
Yeah.
That's one other roadblock that stops people from coming in here. There's various things that are here. And we're going to, anyway, I didn't mean to get into all that stuff. One of the things, I met with several border experts yesterday, and I met with several Border Patrol agents, both current and former, and every one of them to a person said, you got to let Border Patrol and ICE do their damn jobs.
Oh, that's one of the main complaints.
They're handcuffed.
Well, and
handcuffed, Lisa.
They literally sit there and just watch people walk across the border, and they can't do anything.
Can't do anything about it.
Their orders are they just sit there and watch them.
My Border Patrol friends that are active right now, they said during the Trump administration they were literally bored.
Yeah.
They were bored. Hey, violent crime, it's on the rise, only getting worse. Demonstrators burn down buildings, loot businesses. Hey, I don't know if y'all knew it or not. It's rioting season again. They threaten people's lives. Criminals get a get-out-of-jail-free card because of COVID, and they're talking about defunding the police. No wonder people are purchasing guns like never before. And they need to be prepared, just like you do for your family's safety and security. It's never been a greater threat. You need to take care of that. That's where U.S. Law Shield comes in. They keep their members informed about ever-changing state and federal gun laws. And as a member, you'll learn how you can lawfully defend yourself and your family. Costs just $10.95 per month. You get immediate 24/7, 365 access to attorney-answered emergency hotline, and you won't have to pay a penny in attorney's fees if the nightmare of a self-defense scenario ever happens to you. Here's what you do. Call 833-GUN-LAW. That's 833-GUN-LAW, or visit uslawshield.com/Chad for a special radio offer. You got my word. You'll feel better having U.S. Law Shield on your side. 833-GUN-LAW or uslawshield.com/Chad. Be back in a minute. Now, today, at the time of this taping, they are hearing the debates and the deliberation on bills 1927 and 1911, which is for constitutional carry here in the state of Texas. It's actually happening right now as we're taping this. I think at this point, 1927 it's failed. 1911 is the big one that we're really kind of thinking about. This is the closest that we've been as a state to having constitutional carry in at least 25 years. At least they're hearing it. I was in Austin yesterday to speak on that. And, of course, the GOP said no to me. They had scheduled me to come speak at the Capitol with another group of people. It was Representative so-and-so, Senator so-and-so, Senator so-and-so, comedian Chad Prather.
At least it wasn't YouTuber.
I know. Well, I always tell them, I say, could you please just put me down as TV host or something, you know? Because they can't say candidate. They can't
Random white male in a cowboy hat.
Because it's a GOP-sponsored thing, so they can't put a candidate up there and say, okay, like it's because that looks like an endorsement.
Right.
And of course, there was a specific representative that raised a stink about me being a part of it yet again, and they asked me to bow out of the thing, which I did graciously. So I went down there, and within 24 hours, I had my own rally at Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Ice House there on 6th Street. Great turnout. In less than 24 hours, we had. I promise you, Joe Biden couldn't do it. Joe Biden couldn't do it.
Joe Biden can't get 5 people on his live stream.
I tell you want to talk about a great little political rally. First of all, shout out to Austin Talley that has Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Ice House on 6th Street in Austin. Great place. You need to go there. He's a conservative. He's a veteran. He's very heavily involved in, sits on probably 5 different boards for nonprofits that benefit vets, and does a great job down there. And it's kind of a good little meeting hub for conservatives in there. It has become that in Austin. So we did our rally there at noon yesterday. First political rally I've ever held that everybody was drinking a beer.
I love that.
Fantastic. That's the way it is. That's the way political movements get started.
That's grassroots.
In America is right there in the pub, in the tavern, in the bar, and that's the way we did it. So
unfortunately, that's also how it happens in Germany.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Political movements throughout history worldwide have tended to happen, both good and bad, in the pubs. But we were there, and I don't know. We probably had 35 people, 3 dozen people, I guess, that were there. Hanging out, which I was happy to have that. These were some influential people that showed up. They drove from various parts of the state, and with less than 24 hours notice at noon on a Wednesday, that's great. I'll take it all day, every day. So one of our strategies is to do, when these cities we go into, is to do these little pop-up rallies like that. So it was good, Sarah. It was good. And I spoke for 24 minutes, laid the boom down on them. And I'll tell you guys in a minute what I said, because I want y'all's input on this.
Can I just...
Sure, you can.
The fact that these people drove to Austin, of all places, says a lot.
Austin is still weird, by the way.
It is. I mean, I'm thinking, gosh, there's a conservative who owns a restaurant or a bar in downtown. God bless him. Yeah. I hope he stays put.
As soon as I got there, I went to put on my dress shirt, because we drove down yesterday morning. And when I say we, it was me and Allison. Everybody knows Allison. And go to put on my dress shirt, and the button breaks right there. So I had to throw on my Defend the Police shirt and my sport coat.
With your sport coat, I saw that. I was like, interesting choice, but
interesting choice. Had no choice. That was it. But wearing that Defend the Police T-shirt through downtown Austin, it got some interesting looks as well. But that's what it did. And so anyway, Allison, who God bless her, she's the greatest human on the planet, present company notwithstanding. She's went and got a needle and thread. I got a picture of her sitting on the back seat of my truck sewing that up. Of course she did. Because what we did is, after I spoke, we went over to the Capitol to visit the Capitol rally. Now, when I got over there was a lot of disappointed faces, because most of the people who were there had showed up to hear me speak at the Capitol.
I love that.
And so when I got there, it was like either they let me speak or there was going to be an insurrection. So God bless them. They said, "Will you speak?" And I was like, "I'll think about it."
Yeah, right. I'm not sure if I got time.
Yeah.
Let me.
So I've got some meetings here at the Capitol. So anyway, I spoke, for a couple of minutes, nothing long and drawn out. And again, you can't do a campaign speech, so that's not what it was. The beauty of doing it at WTF is I could campaign all I wanted to, talk about my vision. And so, but we were talking about constitutional carry there at the Capitol. Good support. We'll see what happens. Some great people were there. Spent some great time with Representative Kyle Biederman. Spent some time with Senator Bob Hall, two heroes, two studs in Austin. And Bob Hall was very supportive. He was a little miffed that they had scrapped me off of that thing. So
good.
It's interesting. I met some players who, off the record, are very supportive of what we're doing.
Great.
And I mean some way up, high up, that have to remain off the record people.
Well,
very interesting.
I mean, if anyone hasn't realized yet, he's serious. He's serious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to drive across.
Thing.
I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, drive to Austin, Texas, to just to go have a beer.
Were these people that worked for Abbott or something, or?
No, I can't tell.
Hey, wait till the break and we'll ask him.
There was no staff of Abbott's who made that comment.
Governor Prather. Yes. I just wanted to let you know.
Get erect for governor-elect.
Oh my God.
The best T-shirt idea, hang on, Natalie. The best T-shirt I've had so far, and they refused to print it for me, Chad Prather. He's not kinky.
I love that.
I love it too. They're like, it's communicating the wrong message. I said, I don't think y'all have met me. The point is, I'm serious about this.
This is on brand. This is very on brand.
I don't know that kinky was that serious about it.
Yeah.
I'm serious about it, Natalie.
Colonel West spoke a couple of days at the range. He showed up and spoke. Every major network was there. He spoke about constitutional carry. He knew you were heading down. It was the same day that you were down, and he was excited you were headed down there. One of the reporters asked him, several police chiefs from around the state gathered together. I just want to know if you knew this, and spoke. They weren't so big fans of constitutional carry. And then the reporter went on to say, hairstylists have to have a license. This has to have a license. This has to have a license. So what's your response to that? Because that's right. And he said, it's that none of that is in our Constitution.
Right.
And so anyway, I just was going to ask you, did you actually witness any of that happening where police chiefs were speaking against constitutional carry?
No, I knew that the police chiefs had met, right? And I knew the problem. And look, I don't, as far as that bill is concerned, I don't like everything about it, but I don't like everything about any bill that's out there. Nobody does, right? I mean, there's always going to be caveats that are in there. Yesterday they were doing, they were trying to get bills passed based on child mutilation, giving 3-year-old sex changes and, hormone therapy for show, which means, in other words, you're not using hormone therapy. I mean, there's a case I heard about yesterday of a boy who entered puberty at 3 years old. Okay, that's a very rare thing, but it can happen. And so they had to give him these hormone blockers because if you don't do that, there's a good chance the kid ends up with cancer because this process going on in the body. So that is a valid use of hormone blockers. But for show means you're doing it to a kid's in order to make them look like the opposite sex or to behave or to feel and express themselves like the opposite sex physically. And there were let me just say that the Republicans in Austin are not conservatives. When I say the enemy is not who you think it is, it ain't the left. My God in heaven, it's these Republicans. It's these
And that's why I was surprised when you said we are the closest that we've ever been to getting constitutional carry, because what I said was I haven't followed that closely yet because session just, started a couple months ago. But the Republicans I knew last session certainly were not conservative enough to take that seriously.
Right. And back to your question, Natalie, and I went the end around on it. Yeah, it's constitutional. That's why I support that. I mean, it's a constitutional thing. Shall not be infringed means shall not be infringed.
It's very clear.
The whole thing with the bump stocks being banned, that's ridiculous. That's an infringement. The difficulty of getting a tax stamp that you need to just get a suppressor for your rifle or your handgun, that is an infringement. I just don't see any of that stuff constitutionally, and that's why I don't like the Firearms Act, the NFA, the National Firearms Act, which puts all of these concessions on these and these rules and regulations. It needs to be abolished. These are things I told the folks in Austin yesterday. I said I would rather be out here with this group of people knowing that every one of you were armed than to think that nobody was armed. That the only people armed out here are these guys who are standing around with automatic machine guns guarding the Capitol. I'd much rather know that the citizens are armed. I would much rather know that. So I know we're just crazy down here in Texas. But I also told them, I said, there is an invasion, if you will. There's an encroachment that is coming into this country from our southern border. Now, I'm not saying everybody coming from the southern border is some evil MS-13 gang member murderer. I'm not saying that, but they did apprehend some MS-13 gang members just this week. So it's happening. The cartel is $1 billion industry. Traffickers are making $15 million a day. There is a lot of stuff that's going on that's bad, and they're busing this and flying this deeper into the interior of our country where they'll never leave, and they can never leave, because once they get ensconced in there in the way that they are, it's just going to be it. So all of you folks in Idaho and in Illinois and everybody that looks down here and wants to judge us for saying what we say about the southern border, it's coming to your neighborhood, so just get ready. Buckle up, Buttercup. MS-13 is already in every community in America, so there it is.
Colonel
it's only going
Westall.
to get stronger.
Sorry,
in other words, you better learn how to arm yourself. Yeah.
He also spoke about, he said, I would challenge the police chiefs to go and visit with the judges who are releasing a record amount of criminals from prison right now. He said that's happening a lot. There's nobody who doesn't want the gun in the wrong hand more than somebody who wants a gun in their own hand. Yeah. Somebody who legally can do that.
So they're releasing the criminals.
Correct.
And they're defunding the police in some places.
So in your show,
and we're letting illegals in.
Correct.
Daniel Horowitz made an incredible, accurate statement. He said they don't incarcerate people anymore.
Right.
They don't put people in prison. They don't keep them. And we talk about, our prisons are overpopulated. Well, they're not keeping people anymore. That's one of the excuses they use for turning people loose. COVID is another excuse. They release them out on bail. They go home and hope they turn back in for a court date. They do that. It's a bad situation. You got all these people out there with warrants on them and stuff like that. Why weren't they incarcerated?
And you're not talking about releasing people who have an ounce of weed. We're talking about...
I don't care about that. For me, and people keep asking me, and here's my official statement about the legalization of marijuana. I will not oppose it. I will not oppose it. If legislation were to cross my desk to sign, I wouldn't veto that. I would not oppose it. Because for medical purposes to begin with, I think there's a lot of studies and things that we just don't know yet in terms of legalizing the recreational use of it. But for medical cannabis, I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm enough libertarian, even though I'm running on a Republican ticket. I mean, I got to spit when I say the damn word every time I say Republican. I just got to spit on the ground. Because I'm enough libertarian to say this: if you do something and it's not harming somebody else, then I really don't give a shit what you're doing.
Well, it is very shocking when you think about the types of medications, prescription medications that you can go and get from your doctor, yet you can't use that for medical use. It really is insane.
Or for
it's
that
absurd.
matter, recreational use. Because the people that use it are going to get it, and they're using it, and it's coming from Mexico. It's coming from the cartels.
So I'm just wondering if anybody wants to know, and you're right, Steve, because you want to lower property taxes? Let's talk about real solutions.
That's fair.
And I know you Sunday morning go to church, folks. Y'all need to unbutton your Sansa belts a little bit and let...
1 out of every 10 sitting in that pew is doing recreational marijuana.
Well, and I would have taken my mom high over drunk any day.
Exactly.
Well, listen, she was chill.
And to say that, I mean, just on a serious note, I had an uncle who died from ALS, and I will never forget. I mean, he was a very straight-laced, he was a veteran, and the shame that he felt that he had to actually go to a drug dealer to get something that it was the only thing that would make him
members,
right. I mean, it's
Cancer, absolutely absurd. Yeah, and I've got Anyway, I want to keep this conversation going, but before we do it, spring is back. It's back. It's time for you to get back outdoors and explore. Bespoke Post, take it with you on all your adventures. Their new line of essential box of awesome collections for guys, guaranteed to upgrade your life. Whether you're out taming the wilderness or taking your home bar to the pro level heights, Bespoke Post only sends guys the best stuff every single month. No matter what you're into, Box of Awesome has you covered. From style and grooming goods to barware, cooking tools, and outdoor gear, Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. So to get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers are going to help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They're going to release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. Each box, $45. Got $70 worth of gear inside. You get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code WatchChad at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code WatchChad for 20% off your first box. Be back in a second. All right, so 2 points of breaking news during the break that I just found out. One, Bill 1927, still under discussion. They haven't killed it yet. So what I said earlier, forget. It's back on the floor. And also, which is, of course, constitutional carry for Texas. And then they're now walking back the statement that said that Russia was putting bounties on American soldiers' heads, which, of course, they accused Trump of being guilty of that.
Yes.
Allowing that to happen.
Yeah.
So now they're walking that back, saying, not what we thought it was.
Right. Oh, well, actually, we only had low to moderate confidence, which in the U.S. intel community means this is completely unproven.
Yeah, it means it was a bunch of bullshit to try to slam Trump again.
Kind of like all of the other stuff that came from the deep state at the time, like Trump was talking bad about veterans, about military service members. None of it really sounded in character, but they swore up and down that it happened.
Yep.
Some
funny how the truth
deep
comes
state
out.
shit.
I'm really glad that all my friends on Facebook who touted that over the past year will now apologize.
I'm sure they'll apologize. They'll repent.
I'm sure.
We were wrong.
They'll repent. They'll apologize. But there's a couple things. You want to talk about revenue, legalization of marijuana. I've had people who keep saying, don't get into that. Don't thump the Bible at me, man. I'm just telling you, this is real talk. If you want to really get fiscal about this and talk real business and true freedom, there is some merit to that. There's some merit to having casinos in Texas. I'm not talking about rebuilding some trashy dump out there, and I could name some cities where there's a bunch of casinos, but WinStar up above the border ain't too bad of an area up there with that beautiful golf course and that nice layout and those fun shows they have and all that money going to Oklahoma or going over to Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Every single license plate in all of those parking lots are Texas license plates.
Yeah.
They probably got a Bible in the backseat window too. And then, which I don't care. I don't judge you for that. I don't think you should be judged for that. There's another thing. Open liquor stores on Sundays. There's absolutely no reason for liquor stores to be closed on Sundays, and you should be able to buy beer before noon on Sundays. This is antiquated. This is the kind of stuff, and you can at me all you want to, but this is the kind of thing. You want to generate income and lower your property taxes? Then let's stop being puritanical and doing it in name only, because there is no merit behind it, honestly, and I can debate that with you all you want. But here's the thing. When I talked about that gender for show, the hormone blockers for show, 57 Republicans voted for that. That means the majority did not.
Right.
The majority did not. So it didn't pass. They got pissed off. There was one guy who screamed across the thing at a representative who's a friend of mine and said, "This is your fault," because he added that amendment in there, and anybody can go in there and look up who I'm talking about. He screamed, "This is your fault." And it turned into a screaming match across the floor of the House, and he had to march over there and said, "If you're going to scream at me, you're going to scream in my face. These are Republicans. These are
Only
Republicans."
in Texas.
He and I had a meeting later on in the afternoon. We had to walk off the campus. We had to walk off the Capitol grounds in order to have a conversation. He said, "Don't trust anything around here.
Wow.
Don't trust anything around here." And we didn't meet about anything official or anything. We just had to talk about a couple of things. We weren't talking politics. And but he said, we can't even be here. He said, one, it may not even be ethical to meet with you. So we're getting out of here. So there was, and Allison came back a scarred woman. Like Allison she saw so much yesterday. She's like, she started calling it 50 Shades of Republicans. She said it's not even red anymore, it's pink. Yeah. Because these people are so disgusting.
Well, I mean, you see how Texas is slowly turning purple.
It is. And you know how many people send me messages every day saying, "Don't trust this person, don't trust that person, don't trust these people," because you know who's going to come at you, you know who's going to blacklist you, you know who's going to blackball you, you know who's going to try to ruin your life. It ain't going to be the left. It's going to be the Republicans. It's going to be the GOP establishment. And you're not part of it. The TEC the Texas Ethics Commission is going to come after you. You're going to have all these things. It's like we're squeaky clean, man. I ain't never been this squeaky in my life, right? But we're squeaky in the way we're doing things. I mean, we aim 7 times before we pull the trigger at this point.
Well, and that
because we know we're a target.
And going back to the hormone blocker bill, that is a very real thing that's actually taking place right now. There's at least one case I know of that blew up with James Younger, the mother is trying to get his paternity rights eliminated so that she can transition their son with hormone blockers.
Here's where we're at, guys, and this is what I said at Whiskey Tango Foxtrot yesterday. In my speech, I said, our lives need to be defined by 3 things. I've said this forever. Identity, knowing who you are, knowing where you're going, just knowing why you're here, right? It always leads to destiny. We normally don't. That's why kids graduate with a degree in undecided, because they don't have a clue who they are. So they go to college and they get indoctrinated and brainwashed with all of these wild ideologies that have never been tested in the real world. And they come out, they don't have a clue. And so studies have shown that by the age of 35, most people have changed careers 7 times. Jeez. Because there's so many things out there. They don't know what they want to do. So if you don't have an identity, you don't have a destiny. And if you don't get to where you're supposed to go and why you were created to go there, you're never going to leave a legacy. You're never going to leave a legacy. I told him, I said, history is being written right now. We look back at 1800s. We look back at 1836. We could talk about San Jacinto. We could talk about remember the Alamo, remember Goliad, remember Gonzales. We could talk about the Fannons, the Travises, the Bowies. We could talk about the Houstons. We could talk about the Austins. We could talk about all of these folks of history. But here's the thing. There's people right now who are writing history. There's the Abbotts, there's the Patricks, there's the Paxtons, there are the Biedermans, there are the Halls, there are the Toths, there's the Prathers, for the lack of a better term. There's the Allen Wests. There's the people out there who care about this state and actually are being recorded for posterity's sake right now by the media on what they're doing, what they're saying. The problem is we don't have an identity as a state anymore. Mm-hmm. Just as you apply it to an individual life, you can apply it to the state. You can apply it to your family. You can apply it to an organization. If you don't have an identity, you don't know where the hell you're going. Yeah. There's no sense of destiny to the state of Texas anymore. We're being overrun. We're not keeping our culture. We don't teach civics. And damn it, people, would you stop telling me that I'm stealing votes from the Republican candidate? Understand civics. It is called a primary election. It is a primary election.
It's embarrassing.
You either win it or you lose it. If you lose it, then the Republican candidate remains the same. And people, you tell them that, and they're like, there will be one Republican candidate running against one Democrat candidate, and there may be a couple of independent or Green Party people thrown in. Yeah. All right?
It's so embarrassing.
A libertarian or something of that nature. Those people never register the scale. They never move the needle. I get what you're saying. That's why a guy like Matthew McConaughey, if he chooses to run as an independent because of his fame and his money, is going to be damn dangerous to the state. Yes. Because the guy is a liberal in centrist clothing. Yes. And you don't want that. But he's going to lure a lot of conservative votes to him because of his popularity. And he sounds like he just woke up and he's high. And y'all love to hear it because he's so dreamy.
I I used to think he was dreamy, but he just looks like he smells bad.
Yeah,
he's just going to go ahead and say
he just looks like he hadn't bathed.
He doesn't wear deodorant.
Use soap or wear deodorant.
Overwhelming scent of patchouli, maybe, and BO.
But he's dangerous. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, he's dangerous for the state.
Yes, he is.
But so I'm taking the high road. I'm running to I don't like the fact that I'm running as a Republican. I don't like because I'm so disgusted with that party. But I'm telling you,
you have to now.
I'm running because I want a primary. It's all or nothing because I would take votes away. They're like, we're going to need you to, to get signatures, you got to get like 80,000 signatures on a petition before you can even get on the ballot, right? And they're like, well, you can buy those, like $6,000, $7,000. And we're like, bitch, we'll have that done in 48 hours. 80,000 signatures in the state of Texas.
Easy.
I just did a post this morning that got 10,500 reactions in less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break. I think we'll get some signatures out there. Y'all don't understand what $7,000 means to me by somebody's damn handwriting. No, we're going to get the signatures. But these are the kind of things, like you can just buy it. You can buy your way onto the ballot. It's ridiculous. The idea of doing but no, primary, folks, primary. We don't know who we are. We don't know civics. We don't know the process. We don't know history. You think we're going to leave a good legacy to our kids and to our grandkids? And people talk about being 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th generation Texans. Oh my God, that is a thing of the past if we don't change this right now. Because you know what? If we don't write a new history that is on par with where we came from, it ain't going to mean a damn thing how many generations of Texan you are, because Texas will be obsolete.
Amen.
Hunter Biden is up to no good. From his shady foreign business dealings to his lies in the media, the Bidens are working overtime to cover up Hunter's laundry list of scandals, and the media and big tech is helping them do it. That's why the filmmakers behind the Gosnell movie are making My Son Hunter, the Hunter Biden movie to put an end to the Biden media cover-up. My Son Hunter will expose it all, the shady foreign business deals, the laptop, and a whole lot more. But they need your help to do it. Hollywood's not going to fund this. No way they're going to finance this. Too controversial and exposes some of the most powerful people in the world. So these independent filmmakers are relying on you. You can give a gift of $10, $50, $100, or even more. Help stop this Biden media cover-up. Make My Son Hunter a reality. And your donation, guess what? 100% tax deductible. So go to mysonhuntermovie.com right now. Make your donation. Help make this incredibly important film. We'll be right back. Yeah, I've said over and over again, I want. Listen, and God bless folks like Christy Noam up there who in South Dakota who said, we will not allow illegal aliens in our state. South Carolina said the same thing. I love what she said. She said, call us when you're an American citizen. Mm-hmm. Texas needs to do the same thing. We talk about complex issues at the border. These are the things that are unpopular. Build the wall. Do the best you can on the state level to support ICE and Border Patrol, and because they're a federal entity, but on the state level, we can hold their arms up in a big, big way. We got to stop sending tens of billions of dollars to these countries that are corrupt to make these people leave and come to our country, and we got to stop letting illegals come in here. But you know what? Money, 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 money. Money, money. I had a guy who came. I had a guy. He's like, well, what are you going to do? He came to one of my rallies a couple of weeks ago. What are you going to do that's different? I started telling him stuff. He goes, I got 4 illegals that work for me. He said, one guy, I have to keep getting him back in the country because I can't find white people. I said, you're asking me what I'm going to do, and you're telling me that you're engaging in illegal activity as an employer. Well, I can't find workers. I said, don't come at me and confront me about what I'm going to do when you're the damn problem.
Yes, yep. Yes.
You're the damn problem.
And you want to talk about money, money, money. I mean, we were talking a couple days ago about South Carolina, I believe it was, who the governor signed an executive order to ban migrant children, which illegal immigrant children, from being placed in their foster homes because the federal government is incentivizing all of these places by paying 3 times as much to people who take them in. So they're incentivizing you to take in illegal immigrant children rather than our own American children who are orphaned or don't have homes or whatever the case may be. It's disgusting.
What I want to do, if I were governor of the state, if I were Greg Abbott right now, if I were governor of the state, I would put out a plea for 100,000 people to join me at the border as a show of solidarity and force. This is our state. You're not crossing this line. This is a line of citizens you're not coming across. I may still do it as a citizen.
Isn't there an organization of like Minutemen or something that go down there and to the border from time to time?
But imagine the testimony. You want to talk about building a legacy. Imagine the history that would be written if you said, we are going to take responsibility for our state.
Yep.
We, the citizens of Texas, are going to take responsibility for the state of Texas. We will not be encroached. We will not be invaded. And you know what they're doing? They're sending these unaccompanied kids up here because you say, well, you got to have a show of force. And people are like, well, you can't do that to children.
Right.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Yes.
You got to shut this down.
Yeah.
You got to shut this down.
And by the way, too many Republicans over at the Texas legislature are too scared of being called names.
Yes,
exactly.
Too scared of being, well, you're not compassionate
I said it on your
enough.
show. You're exactly right. I said it on your show. You're already a racist.
Yes. Yes.
You're already a xenophobe. So go ahead and do it anyway.
Exactly.
Sorry, Justin, you got to edit that.
If they're going to call you that, stand up and do your damn job.
It doesn't matter what you do.
Go ahead and do it anyway because you're already guilty with the name.
Yep. It does not matter what you do.
Somebody this morning, I saw my friends down there at the Capitol, and there were some candid shots of me hugging their neck or whatever. Guess what? They're black dudes. And this lady's like, you just want to keep pushing your racist thing and say goodbye to people who aren't the same color of you. And I'm like, look here, white lady, why don't you deal with your shithole of Illinois?
Yep.
And Chicago, because while you were typing that out, a lot of people of color were shooting each other in the streets of Southside Chicago.
Yep.
And me, on the other hand, I said, and here's a picture of me getting rid of one of those people of color as I'm hugging his neck. She goes, oh, you're like one of those people that just says, I got friends that are black. Just because you hug people doesn't mean you're not a racist. I said, no, the definition of the word racist means I don't hug people of another color.
You should have told her you only shoot white people.
I'm like this. I'm so tired of this being thrown around. If you're going to be called that, go get the job done anyway and just take the moniker.
Yep.
Well, the new minimum is 2. It can't be you just have a black friend now. You have to have at least 2.
You got to have a bunch. Yeah. Justin, we got to multiply. Bro, we got to multiply. Look at Justin over there appropriating. I love it. And Justin, listen. Anyway, Justin got me. He did so much work. He got so many good stuff that's going on in the news. And I'm like, no, I'm just fired up, man. But I said it on your show the other day. I said, you got to, at some point in time, here's what you do. You get crossed. You're an adult male. You get caught coming across our border illegally. 4 years hard labor. 4 years hard labor.
There you go.
You know what?
You sound like China now.
You keep saying the racist comment that we won't have anybody to cut our grass. Bullshit. I got a plan for who'll cut the damn grass. You want to lower property taxes?
There you go.
We ain't got to pay the groundskeeper anymore. You want real deal? Let's talk about it. We give you 4 years hard labor. Where's Sheriff Joe when I need him?
I love it.
It's the truth.
Earn citizenship.
You earn citizenship.
Yeah. Yeah.
We make jokes about the Mexican Ninja Warrior courses, right? In my shows, we talk about that. If you get across, you ain't got to fill any paperwork out. It's hard as hell to get in here. Once you get in here, boom, welcome. You're a hard worker. We know. And you know what? And I say this with the utmost sincerity. The people who are coming to the border, many of them, they are the most incentivized, most visionary, most impassioned, most innovative people there are. I'd love to have, if I could like snap my fingers and replace these damn rhinos and these damn progressives with these good, hardworking people that are coming to the border. I'd do it right now.
Yes.
My only caveat would be you got to assimilate because I ain't learning Spanish. I'll say venga aquí.
Well, I mean,
and a scupe because I did enough dental work in Honduras. Which means spit.
Well, that's oh my God.
That's all I know.
Well, that's supposed to be the whole point of them. If the reason for them coming is because they want a better life.
Yeah.
You have to assimilate in order to get that better life.
And there's a bunch of...
You come to the better life. The better life doesn't come to you.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we have Kamala Harris going to South America to figure out where she can spend money down there to keep the people there.
Yeah. Laughing all the way. Literally.
Yeah,
it hadn't worked.
Right. Well, maybe you stop providing the freaking magnets for them to come here.
Hey,
for
Tom
starters.
Badette, we're going to turn the light off for you. That's what you just like the old Motel 6 commercials, right? We're going to leave a light on for you.
Yeah, we're not going to leave the light on.
We turned the beacon on. It's a lighthouse saying, come, you're welcome. Yep. Wave you through.
Votes.
I'm telling you, man, public service, political office should be like jury duty. Everybody should have to have a hand in it. Everybody at some point in time in your life should have to have a hand in
Agreed.
some level of it. It should be like jury duty.
Yeah.
And you might not serve but 1 year, but by God, you need to be involved in it. And it doesn't come from not knowing enough civics to know that there's a freaking primary election. You got to learn something about the way this crap works, man. And I'm an average citizen who could sit out there and make $1 million a year, right? I could sit out there and make all the money in the world and not have to listen to a damn word from anybody. But I care enough about this state that I'm stepping up and saying, okay, I'm willing to put my entire livelihood on the line, all of my reputation. Here's my nuts. I'm putting them on the chopping block, laying the whole thing out there for you, exposing myself, exposing my public records, no telling what's on the dark web. I've done it all. Somebody said to me yesterday, the skeletons. I said, I've already said I've done it all.
No need.
My God.
No need. There's no
That
skeletons.
is not breaking news.
Yeah.
I've done it all. Come at me.
Well, what about this, done it? What about
Did
this?
it?
Yeah.
What about this?
Which,
Somebody said, but haven't you done cocaine? Never with anybody that wasn't doing it with me.
Which, by the way, every politician in Austin has also done it all. They're just damn liars and won't tell you that they have.
And they're protected by the establishment.
Yes.
They don't. See, here's the thing. When the insiders don't want the outsiders to come in, it's time to get the insiders out.
Mm-hmm.
Because the insiders are the freaking problem. Mm-hmm. And when a guy comes along and says, screw it, I'm running. Biederman said to me yesterday, he said, be as bold, be as brash, lay it all out there, just say it, whatever you want to say. And I'm like, bruh, you know me.
I'm there.
Don't tempt me with a good time. And somebody said, aren't you worried about death threats? I'm like, dude, I've been getting death threats for 5 years. I got one today. Apparently, I got little man syndrome, too. We'll be right back.
You're not little.
I know.
Hot news, Natalie.
Yeah.
Party foul, Steve. Lisa Page made me do it. Are you back? Your show back?
Yep.
Back in the saddle.
I make your first guest.
You're gonna be my yes.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Back in action for a very brief time.
Vanity. Josh Jennings and I, we wrote a book. It comes out August 3rd, and it's a good one. It's a good one, man. I'm going to be on. See, here's the beauty of this. The PR firm at the publisher, I'm going to be on every show in America. Mm-hmm. I'll be on every show in America.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a bestseller. I mean, we're talking like New York Times bestseller. This book's going to be huge.
Yeah.
This ain't going to be the Dallas Observer. I'm talking about New York Times bestseller. They're putting all the aces behind it, right? So people are like, well, how do we help your name recognition? I'm like, well, funny you should ask that. I'm going to be on Hannity. I'm going to be on Tucker. I'm going to be on Bill Maher. I'm going to be on, we're going to be on
Kimmel.
All the shows. I hope so.
Yeah.
Be on all the shows. I'm going to say, I'm running for governor, right?
There you go.
Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, when the outsiders don't want, or when the insiders don't want the outsiders, you got to get rid of the insiders. Mm-hmm. You got to do it. That's a mouthful, but it's true. It's true. And I'm telling you, there's some insiders, Sarah.
They need out.
They need out bad.
I know. If we're going to keep the great state of Texas.
We need people to stand up and write that history.
That's what you're here to do.
You got to write that history. I can't do it by myself.
No.
Can't do it by myself. But I'm going to use my voice as long as God will let me do it. And somebody asked me, they said, you could quit anytime. I know it's a stress on you. You could quit. And I said, I can't quit right now. God won't let me quit.
Yeah.
And it just like, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. How long that lasts? Who knows, man? The bottom line, I'm not running against an Alan West. I'm not running against whoever else you want to name. I'm running against the dude that's sitting in that office that's got to go. And if a better man than me or a better woman than me steps up and they become that person, I'm going to throw all my support behind them. But they hadn't done that. Mm-hmm. So they got me. They got me. And this kid ain't going nowhere. That's right. Come see us, Oklahoma City, on April 23rd. Get your tickets at watchchad.com. It's where all the fun stuff is. Thank you, Sarah, as always.
Yeah, thank you.
We love y'all. God bless you. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.